was the last time you cried?
Yesterday. I just started tearing up.
What's the most painful thing you've been told?
Ever?
Yeah.
Finding out that my father had passed away.
Who was your greatest love, and why did you fall in love with them?
Oh, it was my husband of 41 years, who I just lost.
Complete strangers opening up and revealing their deepest feelings, their life's regrets, their greatest loss, their weakest moments, their most painful memories.
Like, is this 10-year-old me? Check in? No. The 16-year-old me? It was 20-year-old me. I've neglected that one. He was the one that's been the most blocked off. When you feel like you don't matter, you just want to make an exit. No one's gonna miss you. You think that. You really, truly believe that no one's going to miss you. And I wish I could go back and hug that kid, man.
The voice behind the camera asking those powerful questions is Hunter Prosper. Hunter is an IUP graduate, starting his career as a nurse-off at Presbyterian Hospital in Oakland. Soon after, and during the pandemic, he was moved to work in the intensive care unit.
You're never letting someone go home right from the ICU, but even more so, it's rare whenever you can see a happy ending. And that was making me sad. So I was losing the one part of me that I thought was a good nurse, which was my listening ability. And because of that, I was losing who I thought I was.
After an especially hard day, Hunter, while being mindful of HIPAA, took to TikTok to share one of his patients' stories and what she taught him.
I just got off of work and I had to tell a woman that she had 5 months left to live. Now, this woman and I are close in age, so her and I would talk a lot, and I'd asked her if she'd ever been in love. I at least want to get this person's story out and let it be known that this person had an amazing life.
Hunter started sharing more of his patients' stories. The reactions, the views, and the feedback proved he had struck a chord with an audience he didn't realize he had.
So me doing this was therapy for myself. Listening to people helped me. And then I saw that it helped them. And then when I made a video, I saw that it helped the world. And I was like, well, I mean, I might as well keep doing this.
Hunter decided to take his love for listening to others to the streets of Bloomfield, expanding his videos to a series he named Stories from a Stranger.
The thing I fell in love with at the hospital, which was talking to people, why don't I do that same thing on the street? I feel like I don't need to be wearing nurse scrubs and have a patient sitting in a bed to have a good conversation.
Stories from a Stranger took off. Hunter's hobby turned passion, ended up attracting millions of followers on TikTok and Instagram, including celebrities who often comment on his content. Hunter tells me he's thankful he found a healthy outlet from the burnout he was experiencing as an ICU nurse, and even more thankful that these strangers are willing to share their stories and advice that resonates with so many millions of people.
The psychiatrist gave me some of the best advice I ever got. I had every right to go insane. Just come back.
I wouldn't be the same human being without him. I don't feel he left me. I feel he just went ahead of me.
I have something to live for. I don't know what that is yet, but I have something to live for.
I want everyone to know that you matter and your story matters, and we are far more alike than we are different.
Some exciting news about Hunter. He's currently traveling the country collecting stories from strangers, but these stories he's getting are not going onto social media. They're going into a book. Hunter signed a deal with a literary agency and is excited to take this passion even further.